Hello, and welcome to the Super English Talks. My name is Jara, and I am very happy that you are here today. If this is your first time, let me tell you something important. This is the place where we help you learn English every single day. We believe English learning can be easy, fun, and useful for your real life. On this channel, you will find stories, examples, and simple conversations. I will speak slowly, clearly, and explain everything step by step, so you can listen, understand, and practice. Today, we will practice English listening with some daily life stories. These are very common situations that many people experience. When you hear them, you can imagine yourself in the story. And then you can also practice speaking about your own life in English. Story 1. Morning Routines. Let's begin with a story about mornings. John is a man who likes to wake up early. Every day, he sets his alarm for 6:30 a.m. When the alarm rings, John wakes up and stretches his arms. The first thing he does is make his bed. Then he goes to the bathroom to brush his teeth. After brushing, he takes a shower and feels fresh. When he finishes, he prepares breakfast for himself and his wife, Maria. Usually, John cooks eggs and toast. Sometimes he makes tea. He enjoys mornings because they give him time to start the day calmly. He does not like to feel rushed. But one morning, something happened. John forgot to set his alarm clock. He woke up late at 7:30 a.m. instead of 6:30. He quickly brushed his teeth, got dressed, and made breakfast in just 10 minutes. When he went to the kitchen, Maria was already awake. She smiled and said, "It's okay, John. We can eat quickly and then leave." Even though John was late, they stayed positive. They ate together and began their day with good energy. Story 2. Shopping for groceries. Now let's move to another daily activity, shopping. Last weekend, Alex wanted to buy food for his family. He wrote a shopping list: rice, vegetables, milk, and bread. At the store, he started in the vegetable section. He chose carrots, tomatoes, and fresh spinach. Next, he went to the dairy section. There he picked up milk and cheese. Finally, he walked to the bakery and bought a loaf of bread. When he went to the cashier to pay, Alex suddenly remembered he needed eggs. So, he quickly ran back to the grocery aisle and grabbed a carton of eggs. After shopping, Alex returned home. His wife Sarah smiled and said, "Thank you for shopping. You remembered almost everything." Shopping can take time, but it is very important for the family. Story 3. An evening walk in the park. Let's imagine another situation, this time at the park. Tom enjoys walking in the park every evening. He feels relaxed when he hears the birds and sees the trees. One evening, Tom met his friend David at the park. They greeted each other and started talking. Tom said, "Walking helps me think clearly. It makes me calm." David agreed and said, "Yes, walking outside is better than sitting at home all the time." They walked together, enjoyed the fresh air, and decided to meet again the next week. The park became their favorite place to relax and share conversations. Story 4. Cooking at home. Now let's talk about cooking. Last night, Michael wanted to surprise his wife, Emma. He decided to cook dinner for her. Michael chose to make spaghetti with tomato sauce. First, he boiled water and added the pasta. While the pasta was cooking, he prepared the sauce with fresh tomatoes, garlic, and olive oil. The smell of the sauce filled the kitchen. Emma was in the living room reading a book. When the food was ready, Michael called, "Dinner is ready." Emma came to the table, and they both sat down. They ate the spaghetti together and enjoyed the simple but delicious meal. Michael smiled and said, "I'm glad I cooked today." Cooking can be fun together, but sometimes cooking alone is also relaxing. Story 5. Transportation. Now let's practice a story about transportation. Lisa takes the bus to work every morning. One day, she was running late. She rushed out of her house and ran to the bus stop. She saw the bus coming, waved at the driver, and quickly got on. When she sat down, she felt relieved. She texted her husband, David. "I'm on the bus now. I will be home at 6 p.m. Lisa was happy she did not miss the bus. She listened to music during the ride and prepared for her workday. Story 6. A small problem at home. Finally, let's think about a small daily problem. Anna was making tea in the morning. She poured water into the kettle and turned it on. After a few minutes, she realized the kettle was not working. She checked the plug and saw it was not connected to the socket. Anna laughed and said, "Oh, I forgot to plug it in." She plugged in the kettle, and soon the water started to boil. This was a small problem, but it shows how we sometimes forget little things in our daily life. Great job! Today, you listened to many small stories. John's morning routine, Alex's shopping trip, Tom and David's walk in the park, Michael cooking dinner, Lisa taking the bus, and Anna's little problem at home. Each of these situations is common and simple. You can practice them in English and also tell your own stories. Story 1. A small problem in the kitchen. Last week, Daniel noticed something strange in his kitchen. The water in the sink was not going down. It was very slow, and sometimes it stopped completely. Daniel tried to fix it himself. He used a small tool, and he also poured some hot water. But the problem was still there. He called a plumber and said, "Please come soon. Our sink is not working." While waiting, Daniel told his wife, Anna, "We need to be patient. The plumber will arrive soon." After some time, the plumber came. He looked under the sink, worked for about 20 minutes, and then the water was draining normally again. Daniel and Anna were very happy. They could use the sink without any more problems. Story 2. A weekend market visit. Every Saturday, James and his wife Lucy have a small tradition. They go to the local market together. They enjoy walking slowly, looking at colorful fruits, fresh vegetables, and handmade items. Sometimes they buy flowers or small gifts. One Saturday, they discovered a little shop selling homemade honey. James said with excitement, "Let's buy a bottle. It will taste good for breakfast." Lucy agreed and added, "We can also buy some fresh bread." They went home, made a pot of tea, and enjoyed toast with honey. While eating, they talked about their week and laughed together. It was a simple moment, but it brought them joy. Story 3. Reading and learning. Maria loves reading every evening before bed. She usually reads for about 30 minutes. Last week, she started a new book about gardening. She learned how to grow tomatoes and carrots at home. Excited, she shared with her husband, John, "We can try planting these vegetables in our small garden. It will be fun, and we will also eat healthy food." John smiled and said, "That's a great idea. Let's start next weekend." They began making a plan, and Maria felt happy, because reading gave her new knowledge and a new project. Story 4. Shopping online. Last month, Peter wanted to buy a new kettle. Instead of going to the store, he decided to shop online. He opened his laptop and searched different websites. He compared prices, read reviews from other customers, and finally chose one kettle that looked good. He placed the order and waited. After a few days, the kettle arrived at his home. Peter tested it and was happy it worked perfectly. He told his wife Laura, "Now we can make tea faster in the morning. It will save us time." Laura smiled and replied, "Good choice, Peter. I like it too." Story 5. Visiting the doctor. Last week, Emma was not feeling well. She felt weak and had a sore throat. She called her doctor and made an appointment. At the clinic, the nurse checked her temperature and blood pressure. Then the doctor examined her carefully. The doctor said, "You have a mild cold. Take some rest, drink plenty of water, and you will feel better soon." Emma thanked the doctor and went home. She told her husband, Michael, I will rest today. Don't worry. Michael prepared warm soup for her. They spent a calm evening together, and Emma felt cared for and loved. Story 6. Asking for help. One morning, David was carrying a very heavy box from the car to the house. He tried to lift it by himself, but it was difficult. His wife, Lisa, noticed him struggling. She walked over and said, Let me help you, David. It's too heavy for one person. Together, they carried the box inside. David smiled and said, Thank you, Lisa. It was much easier with your help. This shows that teamwork and asking for help can make tasks lighter and more enjoyable. Story 7. A small trip to the countryside. John and Maria wanted a break from the city. They decided to take a small one-day trip to the countryside. In the morning, they packed sandwiches, bottles of water, and snacks. John drove the car while Maria prepared a playlist of relaxing songs. On the way, they enjoyed the open road, green fields, and fresh air. They stopped to take pictures of the beautiful landscape. They also talked about their favorite memories from the past. At lunchtime, they ate their sandwiches outdoors under a tree. In the evening, they returned home feeling happy and relaxed. It was a simple trip, but it gave them peace and joy. Story 1. Learning a new skill. Last month, Anna decided she wanted to learn something new. She chose knitting. At first, it was a little difficult. She didn't know how to hold the needles or move the yarn. But Anna didn't give up. She watched online videos, step by step, and then practiced for 1 hour every evening. Sometimes she made mistakes, but every day she got a little better. Her husband, Daniel, noticed her progress. He smiled and said, It looks great, Anna. You are improving every day. Anna felt happy and answered, Thank you, Daniel. I will make a scarf for you soon. This story shows that learning a new skill takes time and patience, but it can also be very rewarding and enjoyable. Story 2. Using public transport. Last week, Michael needed to travel to visit his parents. He decided to take the train. Michael arrived at the station early because he didn't want to be late. He checked the schedule, bought his ticket, and waited calmly. When the train arrived, he found a comfortable seat by the window. He opened his book and began reading. While he was traveling, his wife Emma called him and said, Have a safe journey, Michael. See you soon. Michael enjoyed the trip because he planned everything in advance. He was relaxed and had a smooth journey. Story 3. Cooking together. Lisa and David wanted to do something special for their daughter's birthday. They decided to bake a cake. They mixed flour, sugar, eggs, and butter in a large bowl. The kitchen was full of sweet smells. While the cake was in the oven, they cleaned the kitchen and prepared colorful decorations for the party. When the cake was ready, they covered it with icing and added candles. Their daughter's eyes were full of joy. She said, Thank you, Mom and Dad. This cake looks amazing. Lisa and David smiled, enjoying the happy family moment together. Story 4. A small accident at home. One afternoon, James was walking in the kitchen. He didn't see a glass of water on the table. Accidentally, he knocked it over. Water spilled on the floor. His wife Lucy noticed and quickly said, Be careful, James. You might slip. James took a towel and cleaned the water immediately. He thanked Lucy for warning him. This story shows that small accidents can happen anytime, but with awareness and care, we can stay safe. Story 5. Using a smartphone app. Maria wanted to order groceries without going outside. She opened a shopping app on her smartphone. She added vegetables, fruits, and milk to her cart. Then she placed the order. In just 1 hour, the delivery arrived at her door. Maria smiled and said to her husband, John, This app is very useful. We saved so much time today. John agreed and replied, "Yes, technology makes life easier when we plan properly." Story 6. Helping Neighbors. Last week, Daniel was outside when he noticed something unusual. His neighbor's cat was stuck in a tree. He called his wife, Anna, and together they decided to help. Daniel carefully climbed a small ladder, while Anna held it steady at the bottom. Slowly and safely, Daniel reached the cat and carried it down. The neighbor was very thankful and said, "Thank you so much for helping us. You are wonderful neighbors." Daniel and Anna felt happy because a small act of kindness made a big difference to their neighbor. Story 7. Exercising at home. Michael likes to stay healthy, so he does simple exercises every morning. He stretches his arms and legs, does push-ups, and practices yoga. Usually, his routine takes about 20 minutes. Sometimes his wife Emma joins him. She says, "Exercising together makes it more fun. We both stay healthy." Michael agrees and adds, "Even a short daily routine keeps our bodies active and our minds fresh." This shows that even simple exercise at home can help us stay strong and positive. Story 8. Cleaning the house. On Saturday morning, Lisa and David decided to clean their living room. They wanted the space to look fresh and tidy. First, they vacuumed the carpet carefully. Next, they dusted the shelves and wiped the tables. Finally, they cleaned the windows until the glass was clear and shiny. When they finished, they looked around and felt satisfied. The room was bright, clean, and comfortable. Cleaning together made the work faster, and also gave them time to talk and share the morning. Story 1. Cleaning together. Lisa and David spent their Saturday morning cleaning the living room. They vacuumed the carpet, dusted the shelves, and wiped the tables. While working, they also talked about their week. They shared small stories and laughed together. David said, "Cleaning together makes the task less boring." Lisa smiled and replied, "Yes, and the room looks great afterward." When they finished, the room looked fresh, clean, and bright. They both felt proud of their teamwork. Story 2. Learning to cook a new recipe. Last week, Anna wanted to try something new in the kitchen. She decided to cook vegetable soup. She chopped carrots, potatoes, and celery. Then she added spices and boiled everything in a pot. The smell filled the kitchen, and it made the house feel warm. Her husband Daniel tasted the soup and said, "This is delicious, Anna. You're becoming a great cook." Anna felt proud and replied, "Thank you, Daniel. I enjoyed trying new recipes every week." Cooking became a new way for her to learn and feel happy. Story 3. Evening walks. John and Maria like to take short walks in their neighborhood after dinner. One evening, while walking, they saw a small garden with colorful flowers. They stopped, looked closely, and decided to take some pictures. As they walked, they talked about their favorite colors and shared memories from their childhood. Maria said, "Even a short walk can make us feel relaxed." John nodded and answered, "Yes, it's a nice way to end the day together." The simple walk gave them peace and joy. Story 4. Organizing a small home event. Last month, James and Lucy invited a few friends to their house. They wanted to host a small tea party. They prepared sandwiches, cakes, and hot tea. When their friends arrived, everyone sat together and talked. They played simple games, laughed, and shared fun stories. Lucy said, "Hosting friends is enjoyable when everyone participates." James added, "It creates memories we can remember for a long time." It was a happy day full of friendship and laughter. Story 5. Going to the post office. Maria needed to send a package to her sister. She carefully packed the items, went to the post office, and filled out the forms. The clerk at the counter helped her and said, "Your package will arrive in 3 days." Maria thanked the clerk and later told her husband, John, Sending packages is easier when we know the process. John smiled and replied, yes, preparation always helps. Story 6. Helping at a small shop. Last week, Lisa went to a bakery to buy bread. The shop assistant was very busy helping other customers. While waiting, Lisa noticed some items on the shelf were not arranged well. She decided to help by putting them neatly in order. The assistant noticed and said, "Thank you for helping." Lisa smiled and answered, "You're welcome." Everyone can help a little. This story shows that small acts of kindness can make a big difference. Story 7. A weekend picnic. Michael and Emma wanted to enjoy a sunny weekend. They decided to have a picnic in the park. They packed sandwiches, fruits, and drinks. At the park, they found a quiet spot under a tree. They sat on a blanket and enjoyed their meal. After eating, they played a small game with a ball and took pictures of the trees and sky. Michael said, "A simple picnic can be very relaxing and fun." Emma replied, "Yes, it's a great way to spend quality time together." Story 8. Learning English words. John is learning English, and he has a special routine. Every day, he writes new words in a small notebook. He writes the word, its meaning, and also makes one sentence with it. Sometimes his wife Maria helps him by suggesting new words. Maria says, using new words in sentences helps you remember them faster. John agrees and adds, daily practice makes a big difference in learning English. Step by step, John is building his vocabulary. Story 9. Helping with shopping. Last weekend, Anna went shopping for groceries. She bought many heavy bags full of rice, vegetables, and milk. When she came home, Daniel helped her carry the bags from the car to the kitchen. Anna smiled and said, "Thank you, Daniel. You made it so much easier." Daniel replied, "Helping each other is part of living together." They both felt happy because even a small act of help made the work lighter and faster. Story 1. Cooking breakfast together. On Sunday mornings, James and Lucy like to cook pancakes. James mixes the batter in a big bowl, while Lucy heats the pan on the stove. They take turns flipping the pancakes and laugh when one pancake lands a little crooked. Finally, they put syrup and fruit on top and sit down to eat. Lucy said, "Cooking together is more fun than cooking alone." James nodded and replied, "Yes, and we enjoy the pancakes more because we made them together." Story 2. Going to the library. Maria wanted to borrow some books about gardening. She went to the library, looked through the shelves, and found a few interesting ones. After checking them out, she carried them home happily. Her husband John asked, "Did you find good books?" Maria replied, "Yes, I found a few that will help us grow vegetables at home." John smiled and said, "That's a great idea. We can start our small garden next week." Story 3. Taking care of plants. Every morning, Lisa waters the plants in her small garden. Her husband David helps by trimming the leaves and adding fertilizer. The garden looks green and healthy. Lisa said, "Our plants look healthy because we take care of them regularly." David replied, "Yes, small daily efforts make a big difference." This shows how routine care improves results. Story 4. Going for a short evening run. Michael likes to run around his neighborhood in the evening. Sometimes his wife, Emma, joins him. They run past the park, wave at neighbors, and enjoy the fresh air. Emma said, "Running together motivates me more than running alone." Michael agreed and added, "Even a short run helps us stay fit and enjoy the evening breeze." Story 5. Baking cookies. Last weekend, Anna decided to bake cookies for Daniel. She measured the flour, sugar, and butter carefully. She mixed the dough, shaped small cookies, and placed them in the oven. When the cookies were ready, the house smelled sweet and warm. She shared them with Daniel, and he said, "These cookies are delicious." "Thank you, Anna." Anna smiled and replied, I enjoy baking and I'm happy you like them. Story 6. Using public transport efficiently. John needed to catch a bus to his office. He checked the bus schedule, left home early, and waited at the stop. The bus arrived on time, and John found a seat near the window. He texted his wife, Maria, I am on the bus. See you in the evening. Planning ahead made his journey smooth and stress-free. Story 7. Preparing a simple dinner. One evening, Michael cooked rice, grilled chicken, and salad for dinner. Emma helped by setting the table, pouring drinks, and arranging the plates. They sat together, enjoyed the meal, and shared stories about their day. Michael said, cooking together makes dinner more enjoyable. Emma replied, yes, sharing tasks makes everything easier. Story 8. Buying flowers. James wanted to surprise Lucy with something special. He went to a nearby flower shop, chose her favorite roses, and bought them. When he gave the flowers to Lucy, she said, Thank you, James. They are beautiful. James smiled and said, I am happy you like them. Small gestures of thoughtfulness bring happiness in daily life. Story 9. Cleaning the car. Last Saturday, Daniel and Anna washed their car together. Daniel cleaned the outside with soap and water, while Anna vacuumed the seats inside. They played music in the background and talked while working. Anna said, cleaning together makes it less boring. Daniel added, yes, and the car looks great afterward. Story 10. Buying groceries online. Maria needed vegetables, fruits, and milk. Instead of going out, she used a shopping app on her phone. The groceries arrived at their home within 1 hour. Maria told John, this app makes shopping so easy. John replied, yes, it saves time, and we can relax at home. Online services simplify daily tasks and make life more convenient. Story 1. Helping with homework. Every evening, Michael helps his daughter with her homework. He explains new topics clearly and answers her questions patiently. She says, thank you, Dad. I understand better now. Michael replies, helping each other with learning is important. This shows how family support improves learning. Story 2. Weekend family walk. On weekends, Lisa and David take their children for a walk in the park. They play small games, enjoy the fresh air, and take pictures together. David said, spending time outdoors as a family is refreshing. Lisa replied, yes, it strengthens our bond. Simple activities create happy memories. Story 3. Preparing breakfast for the family. John wakes up early to make breakfast for Maria and their children. He prepares toast, eggs, and tea. The family sits together, eats, and talks about the day ahead. John said, preparing breakfast for the family makes mornings pleasant. Maria agreed and added, it is a nice way to start the day together. Story 4. Fixing a small home issue. Last week, Daniel noticed that the kitchen tap was leaking. He got his tools and fixed it carefully while Anna watched. She said, thank you, Daniel. The kitchen looks better now. Daniel replied, small repairs make life easier at home. This shows how taking initiative solves daily problems efficiently. Story 5. Visiting a small market. Michael and Emma went to the local market to buy fresh fruits. They chose apples, bananas, oranges, and some nuts. Michael said, fresh fruits make healthy snacks. Emma replied, yes, and visiting the market is enjoyable. Exploring local places is a fun way to shop. Story 6. Learning something new. Anna wanted to learn origami. She watched online tutorials every evening and practiced folding paper. Daniel noticed her efforts and said, you are getting better every day. Anna smiled and replied, learning new things is fun, especially with practice. Daily learning improves skills gradually. Story 7. Helping a neighbor. One afternoon, Lisa saw her neighbor carrying heavy bags from the car. She quickly went to help and said, let me help you. The neighbor thanked her, and Lisa replied, "Small help can make a big difference. Helping others strengthens community bonds." Story 8. Cooking dinner together. Last weekend, James and Lucy prepared pasta with vegetables for dinner. They chopped, cooked, stirred, and tasted together. Lucy said, "Cooking together is fun and relaxing." James added, "Yes, and sharing tasks makes everything easier. Teamwork creates enjoyable experiences." Story 9. Planning a family picnic. Michael and Emma decided to plan a picnic. They packed sandwiches, fruits, and drinks into a basket. Their children helped by bringing a blanket and a ball. Emma said, "Picnics are a simple way to enjoy time together." Michael replied, "Yes, spending time outdoors makes the day special." Story 1. Family picnic. Michael and Emma decided to have a picnic with their children. They packed sandwiches, fruits, and drinks in a basket and carried a blanket. When they reached the nearby park, they looked for a nice place and finally sat under a big tree. They enjoyed their food slowly, talked about their week, and even played a small game with the children. Emma said, "Picnics are a great way to relax." Michael replied, "Yes, it brings family together." Spending time outdoors helped them feel fresh and happy. Story 2. Taking care of plants. Every morning, John waters the plants in the garden. At the same time, Maria trims the dry leaves and adds fertilizer to keep the plants strong. They both spend about 15 minutes together in the garden before starting the day. Maria said, "Our garden looks healthy." John replied, "Consistent care makes plants thrive." Daily attention ensures long-term results. Their teamwork made the garden look green and beautiful. Story 3. Visiting a cafe. On Saturday morning, Anna and Daniel decided to visit a nearby cafe. They ordered coffee and sandwiches, sat by the window, and enjoyed watching people outside. While eating, they talked about their week, their plans, and some funny memories. Daniel said, "Visiting a cafe is relaxing." Anna replied, "Yes, it is a nice way to spend time together." Even a small outing made their weekend more enjoyable. Story 4. Organizing a home event. James and Lucy invited a few friends over for a small tea party at their home. They cleaned the house, decorated the table, and prepared snacks and drinks. During the party, everyone laughed, played simple games, and shared stories. Lucy said, "It is fun to host friends at home." James replied, "Yes, it makes memories that last." Simple gatherings like this make relationships stronger. Story 5. Learning new words. Maria wants to improve her English, so she writes new words in a notebook every day. She also makes sentences with each word and practices pronunciation out loud. John often helps her by reading the sentences and correcting small mistakes. John said, "Using new words and sentences helps remember them." Maria replied, "Daily practice is the key to learning." Consistent effort improves language skills over time. Her habit of learning a little every day made her more confident. Story 6. Weekend chores. Every Saturday, Michael and Emma clean their home together. Michael vacuums the carpet while Emma dusts the shelves and cleans the windows. They also listen to music while cleaning, which makes the work feel lighter. Emma said, "Working together makes chores easier." Michael replied, "Yes, and the home looks great afterward." Cooperation turns boring chores into an enjoyable activity. Story 7. Baking a cake. Anna wanted to surprise Daniel on his birthday by baking him a cake. She prepared the batter carefully, baked the cake, and decorated it with icing and candles. When Daniel saw it, his face lit up with joy. He said, "The cake looks delicious." "Thank you, Anna." Anna smiled and said, "I enjoy baking, and it makes the celebration special." Baking at home created a sweet and happy memory. Story 8. Evening walk. After dinner, John and Maria often go for a short evening walk in the park. They enjoy the fresh air, take pictures of flowers, and talk about their day. Sometimes, they even sit on a bench and watch the sunset together. Maria said, "Even a short walk helps us relax." John replied, "Yes, it is a peaceful way to end the day. Evening walks refresh both the mind and the body." Story 9. Grocery shopping help. One afternoon, Daniel came home with heavy grocery bags. Anna opened the door and saw him carrying everything with effort. She quickly helped him take the bags to the kitchen. Daniel said, "Helping each other makes life easier." Anna replied, "Yes, it strengthens our bond." Small gestures show care and teamwork. They both smiled, feeling thankful for each other. Story 10. Cooking breakfast together. On Sunday morning, James and Lucy like to cook pancakes together. James mixes the batter, while Lucy heats the pan and flips the pancakes. When the pancakes are ready, they add syrup and fruit on top. Lucy said, "Cooking together makes it more enjoyable." James replied, "Yes, and we enjoy our breakfast more when we make it together." Shared tasks create happiness and bring people closer. Story about reading a book. Maria had a habit of reading every evening. After dinner, she sat on the sofa with a cup of tea and opened her favorite book. She read for about 30 minutes, slowly enjoying the words and learning new things. Sometimes she found new ideas that surprised her. When John came into the room, she shared them with him. "This book teaches useful things," Maria said with a smile. John listened carefully and replied, "Learning together is motivating." Reading daily improves knowledge and communication. They both agreed that reading every day was not only enjoyable, but also a way to grow and connect with each other. Story about a short trip. One sunny Saturday, Michael and Emma decided to take a short trip to the countryside. They packed sandwiches, drinks, and some snacks in a small bag. On the way, they laughed and enjoyed the fresh air. The countryside was beautiful: green fields, tall trees, and clear skies. They stopped near a small river, ate their sandwiches, and took many pictures. They also talked about old memories and happy times together. "One-day trips refresh the mind," Emma said as she looked at the scenery. Michael nodded and replied, "Yes, small trips create big happiness." Planning short trips improves family time. The trip was simple, but it made their weekend special. Story about learning a new hobby. Anna wanted to try something new, so last month she started learning knitting. Every evening, after finishing her chores, she sat down with yarn and needles. At first, it was difficult, and she made mistakes, but she didn't give up. Daniel always encouraged her. "You are improving every day," he said kindly. Anna smiled and replied, "Learning new skills is fun." Practicing hobbies strengthens patience and creativity. Slowly, Anna knitted her first scarf, and she felt proud of herself. Story about public transport. John needed to go to work. He checked the bus schedule the night before and set his alarm to wake up early. In the morning, he reached the bus stop on time and caught the bus without stress. As he sat by the window, he texted Maria, "I am on the bus. See you this evening." He looked outside, enjoying the view, and felt happy that planning ahead made his travel smooth. Careful planning reduced stress and saved time. Story about cooking dinner. One evening, Michael and Emma decided to cook dinner together. Michael cooked rice, grilled chicken, and made a fresh salad. Emma set the table, placed the plates, and poured drinks. When everything was ready, they sat together and enjoyed the meal. "Cooking together makes dinner enjoyable," Michael said with a smile. Emma replied, "Yes, sharing tasks makes life easier. Teamwork improves daily life." The dinner was delicious, but more than that, they felt happy because they prepared it together. Story about buying flowers. One day, James wanted to surprise Lucy. He went to the flower shop and bought a bouquet of beautiful red roses. When he gave them to Lucy, Her face lit up with joy. "They are beautiful," she said. "Thank you, James." James replied warmly, "I am happy you like them." That simple act of love made Lucy's day brighter. Thoughtful gestures bring happiness to relationships. Story about cleaning the car. On Sunday, Daniel and Anna decided to clean their car. Daniel washed the outside with water and soap, while Anna cleaned the inside, wiping the seats and removing dust. They played music and talked while working. After finishing, the car looked shiny and fresh. "Cleaning together is fun," Anna said. Daniel smiled and replied, "Yes, and the car looks amazing afterward." Shared chores create enjoyment. They felt proud of their teamwork. Story about online shopping. Maria needed groceries, but she was busy, so she ordered them online. The app was easy to use, and the delivery arrived right on time. "This app is very helpful," she said. John looked at the bags and replied, "It saves time and effort." Technology makes daily tasks easier. Online shopping gave them more time to spend together. Story about homework help. Michael's daughter had some difficulty with her homework. She asked him for help. Michael sat with her, explained the topic slowly, and gave her examples. After some practice, she smiled and said, "I understand better now." "Thank you, Dad." Michael hugged her and replied, "Helping each other improves learning." Supportive family habits create success. Both father and daughter felt proud of their teamwork. Story about a weekend walk. On Saturday afternoon, Lisa and David took their children for a walk in the park. The children ran, played small games, and laughed happily. Lisa and David took pictures to keep as memories. "Walking outdoors strengthens family bonds," Lisa said. David nodded and replied, "Yes, it refreshes everyone." Outdoor activities improve well-being. The walk was simple, but it filled their hearts with joy. Story about breakfast. One morning, John decided to prepare breakfast for Maria and their children. He cooked eggs, made toast, and poured tea. Maria came to the table, smiling. "Breakfast together is pleasant," she said. John replied, "It starts the day on a happy note." Shared meals improve family life. The whole family enjoyed their meal together. Story about fixing a home issue. One evening, Daniel noticed the kitchen tap was leaking. Instead of waiting, he brought his tools and repaired it. When the water stopped dripping, Anna tested it and smiled. "Thank you, Daniel. It works perfectly now." Daniel replied, "Small fixes prevent bigger problems. Maintenance saves time and energy." Anna was grateful and Daniel felt proud for solving the problem quickly. Story about visiting the market. On Sunday morning, Michael and Emma went to the local market. They bought fresh fruits, vegetables, and some nuts. The market was lively with many people, colorful stalls, and fresh smells. "Fresh fruits are healthy snacks," Michael said as he picked apples. Emma replied, "Visiting the market is enjoyable. Shopping locally improves lifestyle." They went home with bags full of healthy food and happy hearts. Story about learning something new. Anna wanted to try origami, the art of paper folding. She watched online tutorials and practiced every day. At first, she struggled to fold the paper correctly, but slowly she made small animals and flowers. Daniel saw her progress and said, "You are improving every day." Anna smiled and replied, "Daily practice is key." Continuous learning enhances skills. Her new hobby brought her joy and creativity. Story about helping a neighbor. One afternoon, Lisa saw her neighbor struggling with heavy grocery bags. Without waiting, she walked over and said, "Let me help you with those." She carried some of the bags into the house while the neighbor smiled in relief. "Thank you," the neighbor said kindly. Lisa replied, "Helping a little makes a difference." Acts of kindness improve communities. Both of them felt happy, and the small act of help made the day brighter. Story about cooking dinner. In the evening, James and Lucy decided to cook together. They planned to make pasta with vegetables. Lucy chopped the vegetables while James boiled the pasta. The kitchen smelled delicious as they worked side by side. Cooking together is fun, Lucy said, stirring the pan. James smiled and replied, yes, and it is easier when shared. Teamwork creates enjoyable experiences. The meal turned out tasty, and they enjoyed every bite together. Story about a picnic. On Sunday, Michael and Emma packed food and went to the park for a picnic. They found a quiet spot under a tree, spread a blanket, and enjoyed their meal. After eating, they played a small game and took pictures to remember the day. Picnics refresh the mind, Emma said as she leaned back to enjoy the breeze. Michael replied, they create happy memories. Outdoor meals strengthen family bonds. It was a simple outing, but filled with joy. Story about taking care of plants. John and Maria loved their little garden. Every morning, John watered the plants while Maria trimmed the leaves and removed dry ones. Together, they made sure the garden looked fresh and healthy. Our garden looks healthy, Maria said proudly. John replied, consistent care makes plants thrive. Daily attention improves results. The garden became their peaceful place, full of green life. Story about visiting a cafe. One Saturday morning, Anna and Daniel visited a nearby cafe. They ordered coffee and sandwiches and sat by the window. The cafe was calm, and they enjoyed watching people pass by outside. Cafes are relaxing, Daniel said, taking a sip of his coffee. Anna smiled and replied, yes, it is a nice way to spend time. Small outings bring happiness. The simple visit made their morning feel special. Story about organizing a home event. James and Lucy decided to host a small tea party at home. They decorated the table, prepared snacks, and invited a few friends. Everyone laughed, ate, and played a game together. Hosting friends is fun, Lucy said as she poured tea. James nodded and replied, it makes memorable moments. Social gatherings strengthen relationships. The evening was full of warmth and good memories. Story about learning English words. Every day, Maria wrote new English words in her notebook. She practiced making sentences with them and said the words out loud. John encouraged her. Making sentences helps remember, John said. Maria replied, daily effort improves learning. Consistency builds skills. Step by step, her vocabulary grew stronger. Story about weekend chores. On Saturday morning, Michael and Emma cleaned their home together. Michael vacuumed the floors while Emma dusted the shelves and cleaned the windows. Working side by side made the chores easier. Working together makes chores easier, Emma said. Michael replied, yes, and the home looks great. Cooperation improves daily life. When the work was done, they both felt proud and relaxed in their clean home. Story about baking a cake. Anna wanted to surprise Daniel on his birthday. She baked a cake, decorated it with icing, and placed candles on top. When Daniel saw it, his eyes lit up. It looks delicious, Daniel said happily. Thank you, Anna replied. Baking makes celebrations special. Baking creates joyful moments. They enjoyed the cake together, and the celebration became even more meaningful. Story about evening walks. After dinner, John and Maria often went for a walk in the park. The air was cool, and the surroundings were peaceful. They talked about their day and enjoyed the quiet time together. Walking relaxes me, Maria said. John replied, it is peaceful and refreshing. Their evening walk became a daily habit that refreshed both mind and body. Story about grocery shopping. Daniel and Anna went to the market to buy fresh fruits and vegetables. The stalls were full of colorful produce. We need tomatoes and carrots, Anna said as she checked the list. I will pick the best ones, Daniel replied. Shopping carefully ensures healthy meals. They returned home with fresh food, ready to cook delicious and healthy dishes. Story about learning to cook a new dish. Maria wanted to try cooking lasagna for the first time. She read the recipe carefully and gathered all the ingredients. John encouraged her. "Follow the recipe step by step," he said. Maria replied, "I am excited to learn." Trying new dishes improves cooking skills. When the lasagna came out of the oven, it smelled wonderful, and both of them felt proud of her effort. Story about helping with housework. On Sunday, Michael and Emma decided to clean the living room. Emma dusted the furniture while Michael arranged the books and cleaned the floor. "Dusting is easier when we work together," Emma said. Michael replied, "Yes, and it looks much better now." Teamwork reduces effort and time. The living room looked neat, and they both felt happy with their teamwork. Story about planning a family trip. James and Lucy wanted to take a short holiday. They decided to visit a nearby hill station for the weekend. Lucy said, "I hope the weather is nice when we go." James replied, "We should check the forecast first so we can be prepared." They looked at the weather report, packed warm clothes, and made a small plan for the trip. Planning ahead ensured their journey was smooth and enjoyable. Story about preparing for a birthday celebration. Anna wanted to surprise Daniel on his birthday. She baked a small cake and decorated it with candles. When Daniel came home, Anna smiled and brought out the cake. "I love surprises," Daniel said happily. Anna replied, "I hope you enjoy it. I wanted to make your day special." Thoughtful surprises like these strengthen relationships and create lasting memories. Story about morning routines. John and Maria liked to begin their mornings with healthy habits. Every day, they exercised for 15 minutes before breakfast. Sometimes they stretched, sometimes they jogged. "Exercise makes me feel awake," Maria said. John replied, "Yes, starting the day with movement gives us more energy." A simple morning routine helped them feel strong and ready for the day. Story about helping someone in need. One afternoon, Lisa saw her neighbor struggling with heavy shopping bags. She quickly walked over and said, "Can I help you?" "Thank you so much," the neighbor replied gratefully. Lisa carried the bags inside. She smiled and said, "Helping others creates strong communities." The neighbor felt supported, and Lisa felt happy to make a small difference. Story about learning to drive. Michael was teaching Emma how to drive. They chose a quiet area with little traffic so she could practice calmly. Emma gripped the steering wheel and said, "I am a little nervous." Michael replied, "Take it slow. You will do fine." Practice improves confidence. Emma drove carefully, and each time she practiced, she felt a little braver. Story about visiting a library. Anna and Daniel visited their local library on Saturday afternoon. The shelves were full of books on many topics. "This library has so many books," Anna said with excitement. "Yes," Daniel replied, "reading here is peaceful." They spent hours reading quietly. Libraries provide knowledge and create calm spaces for everyone. Story about cooking a healthy meal. James wanted to prepare a healthy dinner for Lucy. He grilled fish and added fresh vegetables on the side. When Lucy saw the meal, she smiled. "It looks delicious," she said. James replied, "Healthy meals make us strong." Cooking healthy improves lifestyle. They enjoyed the meal together and felt good about eating nutritious food. Story about exercising together. In the evening, John and Maria went jogging in the park. The air was cool, and the trees looked fresh. "I feel refreshed," Maria said after a few laps. John replied, "Yes, exercise strengthens both the body and relationships." They laughed, encouraged each other, and promised to keep exercising together. Story about organizing a study schedule. Maria and John wanted to prepare for their exams. They sat at the table with notebooks and made a study plan. Maria said, "A plan helps me stay organized." "Yes," John replied, "planning reduces stress." Organizing schedules improves efficiency. With a clear timetable, they felt more confident about their studies. Story about visiting a local museum. Michael and Emma decided to spend the weekend at a local museum. They explored different exhibits and stopped in front of the history section. "This history section is fascinating," Emma said with interest. Michael nodded. "I enjoy learning about the past. Visiting museums improves knowledge and curiosity." They left the museum inspired and full of new ideas. Story about making a new friend. While walking her dog in the park, Anna met Lisa, who was also out for a walk. "Hi, I am Anna," she said politely. Lisa smiled and replied, "Nice to meet you." "I am Lisa." They chatted for a while and discovered they had common interests. Friendly greetings often create meaningful connections. Story about fixing a bike. One afternoon, James's bicycle had a small problem. Daniel came over to help. Together, they adjusted the chain and tightened the screws. Soon, the bike was working perfectly again. "Thank you." "It works perfectly now," James said with relief. Daniel replied, "Small repairs prevent big problems later." Learning basic fixes is practical. Both of them felt proud of solving the problem together. Story about attending a community event. Maria and John went to a local charity fair on the weekend. There were food stalls, games, and people from the neighborhood. "It is nice to meet new people," Maria said as they looked around. John replied, "Helping the community feels good. Participating in events strengthens social bonds." They enjoyed the event and felt more connected to their community. Story about making a shopping list. Emma was preparing for dinner. She wrote down all the ingredients they needed on a shopping list. Michael looked at the list and said, "Checking the list ensures we don't forget anything." Emma smiled and replied, "Yes, it saves time. Making a list helps us plan better and stay organized." They felt ready for shopping and confident they would have everything they needed. Story about learning a new skill online. Anna wanted to learn how to paint. She felt excited but did not know where to start. Daniel suggested, "You can follow online tutorials." Anna replied, "I will try every day and practice a little." Using online resources made learning easier. With daily practice, Anna improved slowly and enjoyed every step. Story about walking a pet. John took his dog for a walk in the morning. The sun was shining and the air was fresh. Maria said, "Dogs enjoy fresh air." John replied, "Yes, and it is good exercise for both of us." Walking their dog made them feel happy and healthy. Caring for a pet also brought calmness and joy. Story about celebrating a small achievement. James finished a painting he had been working on for a few days. Lucy looked at it and said, "It looks amazing." James smiled and replied, "Finishing it makes me proud." They decided to celebrate small achievements. Appreciating little wins motivated James to keep trying new things. Story about visiting a park. Michael and Emma went to a park one afternoon. They walked slowly along the paths and enjoyed the fresh air. Emma said, "The park is very peaceful." Michael replied, "Being here refreshes my mind." Spending time outdoors made them feel calm and relaxed. Time in nature improves both mood and well-being. Story about preparing tea. Anna made tea for Daniel after a long day. The aroma of fresh tea filled the kitchen. Daniel said, "Thank you. It smells great." Anna replied, "I hope it tastes good too." Small gestures like making tea show care and create comfort at home. Story about attending a workshop. Maria joined a creative writing workshop at the community center. She learned new ways to write stories. John said, "Workshops teach practical skills." Maria replied, "I am learning a lot and feel more confident." Participating in workshops improves learning and helps people feel more capable. Story about organizing books. James and Lucy decided to arrange the books on their shelves. They put them in order and cleaned the shelves. Lucy said, "Everything looks neat now." James replied, "Organized books make it easier to find what we need. Being organized improves efficiency." They felt happy to have a tidy and well-arranged space. Story about planting flowers. Daniel and Anna planted roses in their garden. They dug small holes, planted the flowers, and watered them carefully. Anna said, "Flowers make the garden lively and beautiful." Daniel replied, "Gardening is relaxing." Planting flowers not only improved the garden, but also made them feel calm and cheerful. Story about writing daily notes. Maria wrote short notes about her day in a small notebook. She included things she wanted to remember. John said, "It helps to remember important things." Maria replied, "Writing daily keeps me organized." Journaling improves memory and reflection. This simple habit made her days more structured and easier to recall. Story about trying a new sport. Michael decided to try tennis for the first time. He held the racket and hit the ball carefully. Emma said, "It looks fun." Michael replied, "It challenges me, but I enjoy it." Trying new sports improves fitness and focus. Even though it was hard at first, he felt proud and motivated to keep practicing. Story about taking photos. Anna and Daniel went for a walk and took a camera with them. They stopped to take pictures of flowers, trees, and small animals. Daniel said, "Capturing moments is nice." Anna replied, "It keeps memories alive." Photos help them remember happy moments and share them with family later. Story about helping with laundry. James saw Lucy folding clothes one afternoon. He decided to help her. Together, they folded shirts, pants, and towels. Lucy said, "Thanks, James. This saves me a lot of time." James replied, "Working together is faster." Sharing household tasks makes everything easier. Helping each other made the chore less tiring and more enjoyable. Story about exploring a new cafe. Maria and John visited a cafe that had a small garden outside. They ordered coffee and sandwiches and sat near the flowers. John said, "This cafe is relaxing." Maria smiled and replied, "Yes, it is perfect for a peaceful afternoon." Exploring new places is always fun. They enjoyed the calm atmosphere and promised to visit again soon. Story about preparing snacks for guests. Emma was preparing sandwiches and small snacks for visiting friends. Michael watched and said, "They will enjoy this." Emma replied, "Simple snacks are always appreciated." Thoughtful preparation makes guests feel welcome. When their friends arrived, everyone enjoyed the food and had a nice time together. Story about organizing a home office. Anna wanted to make her desk tidy for better focus. She arranged papers, books, and pens neatly. Daniel looked at the desk and said, "It looks much better now." Anna replied, "A tidy space helps me focus." Organization improves productivity. She felt ready to work and enjoyed having a clean, organized workspace. Story about practicing a musical instrument. James played the guitar every evening. He practiced chords, songs, and new techniques. Lucy listened and said, "You are improving a lot." James replied, "Practice is important." Consistent practice develops skill. Over time, his music became better, and playing the guitar became a joyful habit. Story about visiting the library for research. Michael and Emma went to the library to find information about plants. They searched for books, read guides, and made notes. Emma said, "Libraries have all the resources we need." Michael replied, "Yes, research is easier here. Libraries help learning." They learned many new things and felt satisfied with their visit. Story about cooking dinner for family. Maria prepared a special dinner for her family. She cooked rice, vegetables, and a tasty main dish. John looked at the meal and said, "It looks delicious." Maria replied, "I hope everyone enjoys it." Cooking for family makes us feel closer. Eating together brought warmth and happiness to the evening. Story about cleaning windows. Daniel cleaned the windows while Anna wiped the furniture. Sunlight shone through the clean glass. Anna said, "The room looks brighter now." Daniel replied, "Cleaning makes a big difference. Regular cleaning makes home more comfortable." They felt proud and enjoyed their sparkling home. Story about attending a local seminar. James and Lucy attended a seminar about health and fitness. They listened carefully and took notes. Lucy said, "It was very informative." James replied, "I learned new tips for daily life. Seminars help us improve knowledge." They decided to apply the tips in their own routines. Story about preparing breakfast for children. Michael made pancakes for his children one morning. The sweet aroma filled the kitchen. Emma said, "They will enjoy it." Michael replied, "Cooking for them is always fun. Preparing meals creates joy." The children happily ate breakfast, and everyone started the day with smiles. Story about watering plants in the morning. Anna and Daniel watered their garden together. They poured water carefully on flowers and plants. Daniel said, "The plants look fresh and healthy." Anna replied, "Regular care keeps them growing well." Gardening improves responsibility. Caring for plants gave them a sense of accomplishment and peace. Story about helping a friend move house. Maria helped John carry boxes and furniture while he moved into a new house. John said, "Thank you, Maria. This is a big help." Maria replied, "I am glad to assist." Helping friends makes relationships stronger. They finished the moving quickly and enjoyed a small celebration after. Story about trying new recipes. Emma decided to try a new salad recipe. She carefully mixed fresh vegetables, dressing, and toppings. Her family tasted it and enjoyed the new flavors. Trying new recipes made cooking exciting and creative. Story about learning photography. James took his camera to the park to practice taking photos. He captured flowers, trees, and small animals. Lucy said, "The pictures look professional." James replied, "Learning with practice is effective. Taking photos helps me see the world differently." With daily practice, he improved his skills and enjoyed capturing memories. Story about organizing a family dinner. Maria and John decided to prepare a nice dinner for their relatives. They cooked rice, vegetables, and meat dishes together. When everything was ready, John said, "It is ready to serve." Maria smiled and replied, "I hope everyone enjoys it." When their relatives arrived, they ate together, talked, and shared stories. Family dinners like this bring people closer and make everyone feel happy. Story about visiting a bookstore. Anna visited a bookstore to explore new books for her hobby. She looked at different shelves carefully. Daniel said, "This bookstore has rare editions." Anna replied, "I will buy one to practice reading." She enjoyed choosing a new book and felt excited to learn more. Bookstores give people chances to explore, learn, and enjoy reading. Story about daily morning exercise. Michael went jogging every morning in the park to stay healthy. He ran slowly at first and then faster. Emma said, "Exercise energizes the body." Michael replied, "It sets a good tone for the day." He felt stronger and happier after jogging. Regular exercise improves health, gives energy, and makes people feel good all day. Story about attending an art class. Maria attended a painting class with John in the afternoon. She painted flowers, landscapes, and small objects. Maria said, "Learning art is relaxing." John replied, "It helps focus and creativity." Art classes allow people to express themselves, improve skills, and feel calm. Painting every week became a peaceful routine for both of them. Story about organizing a picnic basket. Anna prepared a picnic basket for a day out with Daniel. She packed sandwiches, fruits, drinks, and a small dessert. Daniel said, "Everything is perfect for the picnic." Anna replied, "Preparation makes the outing enjoyable." They went to the park, spread a blanket under a tree, and ate together. Planning small details makes outings more relaxing and fun. Story about helping with groceries. Michael and Emma brought groceries from the market. Michael carried heavy bags while Emma arranged items neatly at home. Emma said, "This is helpful." Michael replied, "Working together saves time." Helping each other with tasks like groceries improves cooperation and makes daily life easier for everyone. Story about trying a new hobby. James decided to learn chess last month. He read rules, practiced moves, and played small games. Lucy said, "It is challenging but fun." James replied, "Hobbies teach patience." Learning new hobbies improves thinking skills. He enjoyed practicing and felt proud when he improved. Hobbies help people think, focus, and feel happy. Story about cleaning the kitchen. Maria cleaned the countertops and wiped the tables while John washed dishes. Maria said, "The kitchen looks neat now." John replied, "Yes, it is ready for cooking." Cleaning together made the kitchen tidy and ready for the next meal. Clean spaces make life easier and more comfortable at home. Story about walking in the evening. Anna and Daniel walked around their neighborhood in the evening. They talked about their day and noticed flowers and trees. Daniel said, "Evening walks are peaceful." Anna replied, "It refreshes my mind." Walking outdoors improves health, clears the mind, and is a relaxing way to end the day. Story about making tea for guests. Emma prepared tea for visiting friends. She boiled water, added tea leaves, and poured it into cups. Michael said, "They will feel welcome." Emma replied, "Simple gestures create comfort." Hospitality strengthens relationships. Everyone enjoyed the tea, and small acts like this make guests feel appreciated. Story about learning a new language. Maria practiced English every day. She wrote words, made sentences, and read short stories. John said, "Your progress is visible." Maria replied, "Practice every day helps." Consistency improves language skills. Daily practice improves learning, builds confidence, and helps people communicate better. Story about baking cookies. Anna baked cookies for Daniel one weekend. She mixed the dough, added chocolate chips, and baked them in the oven. Daniel said, "They smell wonderful." Anna replied, "Baking brings joy to the home." Sharing cookies created happy moments. Baking simple treats makes the home lively and enjoyable. Story about organizing bookshelves. James and Lucy arranged their books by category. They placed novels on one shelf, guides on another, and magazines in a separate section. Lucy said, "It is easier to find books now." James replied, "Organization saves time." Organized spaces improve efficiency. When books were neat, they felt more relaxed and ready to read anytime. Story about preparing a salad. Michael prepared a fresh salad for dinner. He chopped vegetables, added olive oil, and mixed them well. Emma said, "It looks healthy and tasty." Michael replied, "Healthy meals are important." Eating nutritious meals helps the body stay strong and improves lifestyle. Story about walking pets together. John and Maria walked their dog in the park one morning. They took a slow walk, looked at the trees, and enjoyed the fresh air. Maria said, "Pets enjoy fresh air." John replied, "Walking together is motivating." Outdoor activity benefits both pets and people. Walking with pets keeps them healthy, gives people exercise, and is a relaxing way to start the day. Story about doing laundry. Anna and Daniel did laundry together at home. Daniel loaded the washing machine, and Anna folded the clean clothes. Anna said, "Laundry is easier when we do it together." Daniel replied, "Yes, teamwork saves time." Sharing chores makes life simpler and more efficient. Doing household work together makes tasks faster and helps build good habits. Story about visiting a local farm. Michael and Emma visited a local farm last weekend. They saw animals like cows, goats, and chickens. They also walked through fields with crops. Emma said, "It is fun to learn about farming." Michael replied, "Farm visits are educational." Learning about farming improves knowledge of nature. Visiting farms is a good way to learn about animals, plants, and how food grows. Story about reading a newspaper. Maria read the morning newspaper before breakfast. She read news about local events, weather, and interesting articles. John said, "Reading the newspaper keeps you informed." Maria replied, "Daily reading improves knowledge." Staying informed helps us understand the world better. Reading every day builds knowledge, increases awareness, and keeps the mind active. Story about planting vegetables. Anna and Daniel planted tomatoes and lettuce in their small garden. They dug the soil, added fertilizer, and watered the plants carefully. Daniel said, "Gardening is rewarding." Anna replied, "Watching plants grow is very satisfying." Gardening teaches responsibility, patience, and the joy of taking care of living things. Story about organizing a family outing. James and Lucy planned a picnic for their family. They packed sandwiches, fruits, drinks, and a small blanket. Lucy said, "Everything is ready." James replied, "Family time is enjoyable." Planning creates memorable moments. When the family went to the park, they ate together, played small games, and took photos. Family outings make memories and bring everyone closer. Story about helping with homework. Michael helped his child with math homework in the evening. He explained the problems step by step and answered questions patiently. His child said, "Thank you for explaining." Michael replied, "Helping improves learning." Support at home strengthens skills. Helping children with homework encourages learning and builds confidence. Story about baking bread. Maria baked bread for breakfast one morning. She mixed the dough, kneaded it, and baked it in the oven. The smell of fresh bread filled the house. John said, "It smells amazing." Maria replied, "Freshly baked bread is rewarding." Baking at home improves creativity and skills. Baking at home is fun and creates delicious food for family. Story about visiting a local park. Anna and Daniel went to a park to enjoy nature. They walked on paths, looked at flowers, and sat near a small pond. Daniel said, "Parks are relaxing." Anna replied, "Spending time here reduces stress." Outdoor activities benefit health. Visiting parks improves physical health, refreshes the mind, and makes people feel happy. Story about preparing a light snack. Emma cut fresh fruits for Michael in the afternoon. She made a small bowl of apples, bananas, and grapes. Michael said, "This looks healthy and tasty." Emma replied, "Simple meals can be enjoyable." Preparing snacks promotes healthy habits. Eating healthy snacks is good for energy and keeps the body strong. Story about organizing a study area. James arranged his books, pens, and notebooks neatly on his desk. Lucy said, "It looks organized now." James replied, "A tidy area improves focus." Organization enhances productivity. Keeping a study space neat helps people work better and finish tasks faster. Story about walking in the morning. John and Maria walked around their neighborhood in the morning. They noticed the fresh air, birds, and flowers. Maria said, "Morning walks energize me." John replied, "It starts the day positively." Walking improves health and mood. Morning walks are healthy, refreshing, and help people feel awake and ready for the day. Story about helping neighbors. Anna noticed that Daniel was carrying gardening tools and needed help. She went to him and said, "Do you want me to help?" Daniel said, "Thanks. This is very helpful." Anna replied, "Helping makes life easier for everyone." Small acts of kindness, like helping neighbors, improve community bonds and make people feel happy. Story about preparing for a small gathering. Maria prepared the house for a small gathering. She set the table, arranged chairs, and placed some snacks. John looked around and said, "Everything is ready." Maria replied, "Preparation ensures comfort for guests." Planning makes gatherings enjoyable. When we prepare carefully, guests feel welcome and the event goes smoothly. Story about trying a new recipe. Emma decided to try a new soup recipe she found online. She chopped vegetables, boiled the ingredients, and added spices. Michael said, "It looks delicious." Emma replied, "Learning new recipes is fun." Trying recipes improves cooking skills. Experimenting with food helps people learn new skills and enjoy cooking. Story about taking care of indoor plants. Anna spent time watering and pruning her indoor plants. She checked the leaves and removed any dead parts. Daniel said, "They look healthy." Anna replied, "Regular care keeps them thriving." Caring for plants improves responsibility. Daily attention to plants teaches patience and responsibility, and it makes the home beautiful. Story about visiting a local market. James and Lucy went to a local market to buy vegetables. They chose fresh tomatoes, carrots, and spinach. Lucy said, "The vegetables are fresh." James replied, "Shopping locally is beneficial." Local markets provide fresh and healthy produce. Visiting markets supports healthy eating and helps local businesses. Story about doing daily exercises. Michael exercised in the morning with Emma. They did stretching, light jogging, and a few exercises together. Emma said, "Exercise improves energy." Michael replied, "It also strengthens our bodies." Daily exercise promotes health. Exercising every day keeps the body strong and the mind active. Story about helping with household chores. Maria cleaned the windows while John vacuumed the floor. Maria said, "Working together is effective." John replied, "Yes, chores are easier when we do them together." Sharing responsibilities improves efficiency. Helping each other with chores saves time and makes the home more comfortable. Story about organizing a family bookshelf. Anna organized books on the family bookshelf. She grouped them by category and size. Daniel said, "Everything is easy to find now." Anna replied, "Organization saves time." Neat spaces create comfort and focus. Keeping books and study areas organized helps everyone work and learn better. Story about preparing breakfast. James cooked eggs and toast for Lucy in the morning. The smell of breakfast filled the kitchen. Lucy said, "It smells delicious." James replied, "Cooking breakfast is a good start to the day." Preparing meals improves daily routines. A good breakfast gives energy and starts the day in a positive way. Story about walking in the evening. Michael and Emma walked around the park after dinner. They enjoyed the fresh air and quiet paths. Emma said, "Evening walks relax me." Michael replied, "It is a pleasant way to end the day." Walking promotes health and relaxation. Evening walks help the body relax and give time to enjoy nature. Story about learning new words. Maria writes down new English words every day and practices them in sentences. John said, "Writing helps memory." Maria replied, "Daily practice makes learning easier." Consistent learning improves skills. Learning new words every day improves language and confidence. Story about visiting a nearby lake. Michael and Emma visited a nearby lake. They walked along the shore, watched birds, and enjoyed the quiet water. Emma said, "The lake is peaceful." Michael replied, "It refreshes the mind." Nature improves well-being. Spending time near water and nature helps people relax and feel happy. Story about cleaning the garden. John trimmed the bushes while Maria watered the flowers in their garden. Maria said, "Our garden looks neat." John replied, "Cleaning regularly keeps it healthy." Gardening improves responsibility and the environment. Working in the garden teaches care, responsibility, and makes the home beautiful. Story about organizing a study plan. James decided to make a study plan for learning English. He wrote down what topics he would study each day and how long he would spend on each subject. Lucy looked at the plan and said, "It will help you manage your time." James replied, yes, a plan improves learning and makes studying more effective. When we organize our study time, we can learn more and understand better. A study plan helps us stay focused and achieve good results. Story about helping with grocery bags. Anna carried the heavy grocery bags from the car while Daniel arranged the items in the kitchen. Daniel said, thank you. It is easier now. Anna replied, helping each other makes daily life smoother. Cooperation strengthens family life. Small acts of help make everyday tasks faster and create a happy and caring home. Story about learning to ride a bicycle. Michael decided to teach Emma how to ride a bicycle in the park. Emma said, I feel nervous, but I want to try. Michael replied, take it slowly. I will support you. With patience and practice, Emma soon rode confidently. Learning new skills takes effort, encouragement, and persistence. Trying and practicing makes us stronger and more confident. Story about preparing a surprise breakfast. Anna woke up early to make pancakes and fruit juice for Daniel. Daniel said, this is a wonderful surprise. Anna replied, I wanted to start the day with something nice for you. Thoughtful gestures like this make daily life happier and strengthen relationships between family members. Small acts of kindness create joy. Story about visiting a local farm. Maria and John visited a small farm near their town. They saw animals like cows, goats, and chickens and looked at the vegetables growing in the fields. Maria said, the animals are so friendly. John replied, I enjoy seeing how vegetables are grown. Visiting farms helps people, especially children, learn about nature and healthy food. It is fun and educational to see where food comes from. Story about helping with cleaning the house. James vacuumed the living room while Lucy dusted the shelves and cleaned the windows. Lucy said, the room already looks brighter. James replied, working together makes it faster and more fun. Sharing household chores saves time and makes the work easier. Teamwork also gives a sense of accomplishment and makes the home more comfortable. Story about trying a new recipe. Emma wanted to make vegetable soup that she had never cooked before. She followed the recipe carefully, chopped the vegetables, and added spices. Michael said, follow the steps slowly. Emma replied, I am excited to try it. Trying new recipes builds confidence in the kitchen and helps develop cooking skills. Cooking can be creative and fun when we experiment. Story about taking a short evening walk. Anna and Daniel walked around their neighborhood after dinner. The air was fresh and the streets were calm. Anna said, walking in the evening is calming. Daniel replied, yes, it's a great way to end the day. Simple routines like walking in the evening help relax the mind, improve health, and give time to enjoy small moments together. Story about organizing a small home library. Maria arranged the books on the shelves by category so John could find them easily. She placed storybooks, textbooks, and magazines in separate sections. Maria said, this will make reading more enjoyable. John replied, yes, now it's easy to choose what to read. Organizing books and study spaces makes learning easier and encourages people to read more often. Story about planting flowers in the garden. Michael and Emma planted roses and marigolds in their garden. They watered the plants and added soil around the flowers. Emma said, our garden looks colorful already. Michael replied, taking care of plants is relaxing. Gardening teaches responsibility, patience, and care. Watching flowers grow brings happiness and satisfaction. Story about helping a neighbor carry groceries. Anna saw Mr. Smith struggling with heavy grocery bags at his door. She said, can I help you? Mr. Smith replied, thank you. That is very kind. Anna carried some of the bags inside for him. Small acts of kindness like this strengthen community bonds and make life easier for everyone. Story about reading before bed. James read a short story to Lucy at night. Lucy listened carefully and said, "I love listening to stories before sleeping." James smiled and replied, "It is a relaxing way to end the day." Reading together not only improves literacy, but also creates calm and pleasant family moments. It helps children enjoy books and feel close to their family. Story about preparing a simple salad. Maria cut cucumbers, tomatoes, and carrots for John. She arranged them in a bowl. John looked at the salad and said, "This looks fresh and healthy." Maria replied, "Eating healthy food keeps us energized." Preparing simple meals encourages good eating habits and shows care for family. Cooking together can be fun and helpful. Story about cleaning the car. Michael washed the outside of the car while Emma cleaned the inside. Emma said, "The interior looks spotless now." Michael replied, "Yes, the car feels much nicer after cleaning." Sharing household tasks makes work faster and more satisfying. Doing chores together creates teamwork and a sense of accomplishment. Story about visiting a cafe for a relaxing afternoon. Anna and Daniel went to a cafe and ordered tea. They sat in the garden and enjoyed the view. Daniel said, "This place is very peaceful." Anna replied, "It is a nice break from our daily routines." Visiting calm and quiet places reduces stress, improves mood, and gives a chance to relax and enjoy small pleasures. Story about learning a new hobby. James began painting small landscapes every evening. Lucy noticed his work and said, "Your paintings are improving." James replied, "Practice makes a difference." Hobbies like painting develop creativity, patience, and relaxation. Spending time on hobbies can make life more enjoyable and fulfilling. Story about doing morning exercises together. Maria and John practiced stretching and light jogging in the yard each morning. Maria said, "It helps me feel energized." John replied, "Exercise routines improve motivation and health." Doing morning exercises together strengthens the body, improves mood, and encourages a healthy daily routine. Story about helping with laundry. Anna folded clothes while Daniel loaded the washing machine. Daniel said, "It is done quickly when we work together." Anna replied, "Yes, teamwork makes chores easier." Helping each other with daily tasks improves family harmony and makes household work faster and more enjoyable. Story about visiting a local market. Michael and Emma went to the local market to buy fresh fruits and vegetables. Emma said, "The produce here is fresh and healthy." Michael replied, "Shopping locally supports good nutrition." Visiting markets teaches people about quality food, meal planning, and how to make healthy choices. Story about baking cookies. Maria baked chocolate chip cookies for John. The smell of fresh cookies filled the kitchen. John said, "They smell delicious." Maria replied, "Baking at home is fun and comforting." Cooking together strengthens family bonds and creates happy and joyful moments at home. Story about organizing a study desk. James cleaned his desk and arranged his stationery neatly. Lucy said, "It looks neat and organized now." James replied, "A tidy space helps me focus." Organizing study areas encourages productivity, learning, and better concentration. Story about taking a weekend stroll in the park. Anna and Daniel walked near the lake, enjoying the fresh air and the view of trees and flowers. Anna said, "It is so relaxing here." Daniel replied, "Fresh air clears my mind." Outdoor activities improve both mental and physical health and provide a chance to enjoy nature together. Story about preparing tea for guests. Emma prepared tea and small snacks for Michael and some visiting friends. Michael said, "This is thoughtful and welcoming." Emma replied, "Simple gestures make people feel comfortable." Hospitality, even with small actions, creates strong and positive relationships and makes guests feel happy. Story about helping a child with homework. Maria helped John's daughter with a math problem. She said, "Don't worry. Take it step by step." John's daughter replied, "Thank you. I understand now." Helping children with homework builds confidence, strengthens learning skills, and encourages a positive attitude towards studying. Thank you for joining me today. This was Jara from the Super English Talks. Keep listening, keep practicing, and remember, learning English is easier when you enjoy the process.